Hi everyone, it's Sandy. Thank you for joining me here on my channel. I have made a simple and easy project. If you want to make something really quick with your papers in your stash, or if you're a beginner to paper crafting, I thought I'd make something really quick for you to have a go and make one yourself. Just a nice little simple folder. I made this I made it as an envelope shape sort of folder. And there is a pocket with a closure inside where you can tuck some recipe cards, note cards, anything you want that'll fit in here. I didn't do a lot of embellishing. I just stuck on an embellishment that I made a while back, and there was a little envelope style here in the front that I made using a 1.5 inch circle punch. So it's a really cute little teeny tiny envelope. Then I just cut out a piece of paper from my scraps just so I could fit it in there. So I just made it, I cut it to size to fit. And I added a little dangle here with some tassel. So I added a dangle with a tassel and a heart punch shape piece. I glued up both sides. I used some seam binding as a closure. Now let me show you how I made this. I made one similar like this a while back, but a little bit different. So I thought I'd just try and recreate another one and make it a little bit, just make the cover differently. So it just opens up this way and opens up like that to a pocket with a closure. And then I also made a little tuck pocket here in the front. I used some tags and there was a little note card in here as well. So just cut that. I just cut a strip and then I just fold that in half. And there's a little pocket here. And then what I've done was with the tags, I used the tags to keep this part closed. So that was just my idea of doing that. And then there is a pocket at the back. This is also another pocket I just made. I just made that by folding a little piece over to fit inside. And I think the height of this is 4 inches. So it's 3.5 inches in height. And then I just fold over a little piece to create a tuck pocket, made a little tab, pull tab up there. So that was just a nice fit in there. And inside is one of the little mini folders that I made. It's a little mini pocket folder. And I was quite happy to know that that fitted in there quite perfectly as well. And then you can add a few things inside. So I'm going to show you the measurements and how to make this really easily. And it's a fun project. You can make a few of these. And then it just closes up like an envelope style. It just doesn't completely cover up. The one that I made, this part here goes all the way over, and then this overlaps on the top like an envelope. But this one, I trimmed it down a bit. So let me show you how to make one. You only need 3 pieces of papers for this project. So I've got 3 pieces here. I did use double-sided paper for this part because it's nice to be able to see the double print, but you can use single-sided, that's still fine. So for the envelope base, you want to cut your paper at 6 inches by 9 inches, and you want to cut another piece at 3 by 6 inches, and that's this bottom piece here, just so you have an idea what papers you're going to use. So the bottom one is 3 inches by 6 inches. For the closure, it's 3 inches by 5.5 inches. So just decide what papers you want to use, and you can use single-sided paper. So to make the cover, now I've got a pattern that's got a sort of directional image here. That's going to be the closure. So if you're going to use a directional pattern, the directional part will be the closure. So I'm going to have it facing this way. So I'm just going to get my scoring tool. So we're just going to make 2 score lines, 1.5 inches and 6.25 inch. So it's 1.5 inches and 6.25 inch. And we'll make some score lines for the other ones, so then we can just move the scoreboards aside. This is for the bottom part of the pocket. We're just going to do 3 score lines at 1/4 inch on 3 sides. So it's 1/4 inch on one side, quarter of an inch on the other side, and a quarter of an inch on the third side. The one with the 5.5 inch by 3 inches, you're just going to either fold that in half. So on the 3 inch side, you're just going to score it at 1.5 inches, or you can just fold that in half. And I didn't have my paper trimmer, but I'll just leave that for now. All right, so what we're going to do first, let's fold the envelope part. I'm going to fold one side, and then we'll fold the other piece. So now we've got your envelope looking like this. Then what you want to do with the cover part, or the top part, you want to angle cut going up. I'm going to go up about 3/4 of an inch and just going in about, I'm not sure, about an inch and a bit over. So from that fold line down here, you're going to cut and grab that piece, bring it over to this side, and that's going to be your template. So you've got 2 even angle shapes. And put these 2 pieces to the side, and you'll see that now it looks like an envelope shape. So grab your piece that's at 3 by 6 inches, and I'm just going to just angle cut them. And then we'll just fold them in. And then we're going to glue down the 3 sides. Oops, let's fold all that down nicely. And then you just want to line it just a little bit above the fold line, and just sort of get it into an ear, center it as best you can. And press that down. Then you've got yourself a pocket inside the folder. And then you've got this piece. Now, I did trim it a little bit more, just slightly, and I don't have a paper trimmer, so I'm going to use my scissors. What you want to do, you want to just make sure that that slides inside nicely, so it may not go right in. So I'm just going to trim a little tiny bit, but I don't have my trimmer, so I'm just going to just trim it as best I can and as straight as I can, so that it will go in. See, so now it slides in and out nicely. So just choose which side you want your front. So I'm going to have this part, and I'll corner around these 2. Add glue to the back of the part I didn't corner around. And you're going to slide that in the back. And you just slide it as far as you want it to go down. I want mine just a little bit up, about there. You can make it about 4 inches high from there to there, or just a bit more if you have note booklets or whatever that are 4 inches in height. Just add what you want in there first, because you've still got room up to here to move it up, but just making sure so you can keep going higher. So that way you've got more room. So with my this one, you can put it, this is about 4 inches in height. I think maybe it's a bit more, so a bit too high, but I can put that in first to make sure that'll fit. And then I can slide that down. So you can play with this part to go as high as you like. Just making sure, remember that there is only 1.5 inches there. So if you do go further up, you can see that you're going to have a gap there. So you may just want to just make sure you just keep that little bit in there so it looks like an envelope. And then we've got these 2 little pieces. And that piece I'm going to bring over here to make a little tuck pocket. So I'm just going to glue down these 2 sides. And then this one. And then you just want to overlap it a little bit so that it's not going to, whatever you put in there, it's not going to fall out. So just overlap it. And line that up to the corner. Slide this one in. About there's fine for me. So you've still got a bit of a sort of, what do you call, like a tuck space so that that doesn't fall out. And what I've done here is I did add a little focal piece or a fussy cut image to stick in the center to also just give me extra room for that so nothing will fall out. So once that's all glued in and you're happy with the width of your little pocket here and it's dried, you can then add your bits and pieces and your tag, and that will close down and that will close over. And then you can just punch out a couple of little circle pieces with your circle punch like I have, glue them down and then punch a hole. You can use eyelets, you can use buttons to close it or anything you like. You can add some trim and wind some trim around there and tie it up there as well and pretty it all up the way you like. But this is just a quick little project for you, something that you may, something for you to try and make. And I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.